I don't know. We have most of a barbershop quartet.
It's been a very long time since I did that, but it would be
Do you have a
fun.
bass?
Uh-huh. I can either do high alto or second soprano, depending on what you want.
I got tenor baritone locked down.
I can only do Muppet voices.
I could do
That's as
soprano.
close as I got. Oh, I'm getting old. I used to be able to hit such high fucking notes when I did that. It was ridiculous. Just probably why my voice is damaged now that I'm elderly.
Age.
A delight.
It's better than the
Is slightly
alternative.
worse.
Yeah.
I'm reading Red Harvest right now, and I just got to the bit where the Continental Op has been awake all night, and he goes home to his hotel, sits in a bucket of ice water for about 5 minutes, and has a slug of gin, and then he says, "Now that I'm 40, I can still use gin instead of sleep, but I don't like it."
That's fairly accurate, I think. I mean, from 36.
Yeah,
but...
yeah.
Also, now I want to reread Red Harvest because
it's great. I've got like a new phone that's just large enough that it actually allows me to be like aimlessly reading through a trashy paperback as my default mode of not engaging with the rest of the world for a few minutes, as opposed to actually having to like cross over to some place and get the book that I'm properly reading.
It's kind of amazing how explodey it is.
Yeah, God.
Like, I walked out looking for clues. All of it's like dynamite fight, machine guns at the bar. It's like, wow.
Yeah. I was expecting something that was paced a little bit closer to. I've never read it before. I was expecting something that was paced a little closer to Maltese Falcon or to like Thin Man or something. But no, it's like and then this guy wins a boxing match and then gets a knife through the back of the neck, like while he's still in the ring.
Gonzo of the Dashiell Hammett books. In my opinion.
It's wild.
It does what it says on the cover.
I'm really curious. I need like a side, a glossary for Dashiell Hammett era detective slang. I get a general sense of what a couple hookers of gin is, but I'd really like to know specifically.
You could certainly imagine a few.
Well, there are some options there.
Exactly. There's a range. I'm just trying to narrow it down inside the range.
Yeah, I recently read some Chandler short stories that I'd never read before. And aside from the part where they were ridiculously racist, which made me very unhappy, I learned a enormous amount of weird LA slang for crime.
Mm-hmm. I listened to Mickey Spillane's "I, the Jury" on audio last year, and honestly, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. But there were some words in there that I had, like, I'm steeped in the 30s and a lot of pulp, and like even I had never heard some of this shit before. Like, what the fuck is a high yellow? I'd never heard this term before, and it turns out it's just another indicator that white people are fucking horrible, is what it is.
Me, I'm high yellow.
What the Christ kind of thing is that to even call somebody? Like you have to be a bigot in spats and cravats to come up with a term like that. We need an appropriately old-timey word for the old-timey world we live in.
Yeah.
Anyhow, yeah, I'm like, the fuck? I was not envisioning what the historical usage of the actual word is. So it's always an education when you read that stuff from like 1947, 48. Also, don't even get me started about Mickey Spillane's sex.
Oh, wow.
I would prefer not to.
Not a thing that I'd like to imagine. There's a great modern compositional piece called Spillane, which I had always assumed was pronounced Spillane, that I'd recommend, like, look it up on iTunes or Spotify or something. It's a great piece of art music. I will warn you that however loud your speakers are, it starts with a blood-curdling scream and then just goes along with the anticipated, like, pounding soundtrack of a, like, 1940s noir movie for about 45 minutes. It's great.
Oh.
Now,
Mood music.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to ruin the fun here. But did Devin warn us that she was going to come back at some point?
Says no. Devin has now texted me and said that there are about 30 to 35 people observing us.
Oh, hi.
Hi, friends.
All of them
Hello,
children,
friends.
grandchildren, and cousins of the Mickey Spillane estate. Great. Wonderful.
Yeah, the Spillane people are going to cancel us. That's what's going to happen now. Hello,
Alright,
friends.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess we should probably do thing. If that's okay with everybody. Do we have a quorum on doing thing? All right. Let us
put
proceed
on our
with
serious
thing.
hats.
Where'd you get that? Who did you beat up to get the serious hat from, Max? What con did you go to for that? All right. Hi, everybody. Well, once again, we have made it to that bittersweet achievement, the close of another 4th Street. But it is only a close in a very technical sense, because the panels will remain available for at least another month, and out of this con will come the usual overflowing tide of book lists and recommendations and ideas and discussions. And the thing about 4th Street is that it does not so much stop as recede for a bit. And we hope that when it returns in 2022, most of us can finally be there in person, along with the yarn and the tea and the book swap and the snow cone maker and the music.
We're deeply grateful for the enthusiasm and the kindness of all of you, our 4th Street members, for how much information you shared, for your book recommendations, for your supportive attention to our panelists, and especially for your incisive questions to help make the panels even better.
4th Street depends on the hard work of our volunteers and our volunteer coordinators, and this year, as always, they have over-delivered. Once again, our convention coordinators have been Alex Haste at Safety, Matt Smith, Accessibility, Casey Blair, Programming Coordinator, Phil Margolius, Volunteer Coordinator, Elizabeth Baer, Member Liaison, and Devin Singer, Communications.
We'd also like to extend our thanks and appreciation to our volunteers. Steen Comer, Avi Burton, William Henry Morris, Don Pizarro, and Angie Cousins.
We'd also like to express our deepest gratitude to Pamela Dean for consenting to be interviewed, to Marissa Lingen for conducting the interview, and to David Dyer Bennett for recording it. We would also like to recognize the transcription services of Kefi M. Curley.
Last year was hard on a lot of conventions, but 4th Street has managed to work with our hotel. So far, we've reached half of our outstanding obligation to the Hilton thanks to your donations. Your kindness helps us work toward a potential in-person version of the convention next year.
Okay. So the convention formally ends as of 6 p.m. Central Time today, and the ability to post new stuff in the Discord will be turned off at that time due to the fact that we will have no more moderation coverage of the channels. However, members of the convention will not be locked out of the existing content. So by our best guess, members will still be able to go back and read those conversations for about a week at least, because we are not going to shut it down for good until the board has held its post-mortem review of the con. So you do have a bit of time to go back in, catch up, read what you missed, take notes, etc. And we will send out a formal notice with a clear end time before that end time is upon us.
Generally, it'll look like a guy with a sandwich board.
Yeah,
End times coming.
it's what we had the budget for. You know, we were hoping for, you know, a fire demon battling the Hulk in the heart of Asgard, but what we got was a sandwich board. 4th Street. So yeah, that's basically all we have to tell you. If you have any further notions about panels, panel ideas, etc., those should be passed on to our programming director, Casey Blair, via the email address programming@fourthstreetfantasy.com. And you can find all the relevant info on the website at fourthstreetfantasy.com. Panel notes, panel ideas, commentary on the panel, volunteering to be on panels next year. All those things are good to arrange when you have the time to arrange them, and drop Casey a line. That's all I have for you. Anything from anybody else?
Thank you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
We pulled
so
off
much.
a virtual convention, and it actually felt like a 4th Street. So yay, it worked.
It has been really nice. Alas,
Yes.
you don't have to virtually go home, but you can't virtually stay here. So from those of us on the board, we hope to see you again next year in a much more traditional fashion. So touch wood and take care of yourselves.